League, and commentary here is in communication with him as Danny sits in his car.
Danny, this is Sam Posey. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Sam. Turn your volume down just a little bit, but everything's going great. This is an unbelievable spectacle.
In the warm-up laps before the start, in the next few minutes, what are the things you'll be looking at?
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Spectators on the scene, then to accelerate on the pace lap. Watch for the green flag from the starter, and then to race for riches and glory. There's Dwayne Pancho Carter, the pole sitter, trying to do what his father could not do before him to win at Indy. Next to him, young Scott Brayton, another race driver's son. They say they're old drivers and bold drivers, but no old wild drivers. Well, Scott Brayton is young, 26. Bobby Rahal rounding out the first row. On the front row before, there's Mario Andretti, the favorite at age 45, 16 years after his only victory in the 500. He's right behind Carter, the pole sitter. Will he go for the lead in turn one? Defending champion Rick Mears has to wonder if his battered feet, crushed in that accident last year, will sustain the test of 500 miles. And someday there will be an Indy without A.J. Foyt, but not this year. At age 50, the only four-time winner tries again, refusing to hear the voices that say it may be time. Johnny Rutherford. Johnny Rutherford, too, represents the generation that's beginning to give way. At age 47, he starts way back in row 2. He won this race. He sat on the pole a couple of times. He had a terrible crash here in another year. He has seen it all at Indy. Fittipaldi. Now, I think maybe they got him, or are they going to have to push him? Fittipaldi's still sitting there. Now they're all the engines are running, and now they're moving out. I think everybody is okay. Mears, the defending champion, has not started. The first major story of this year's 500-mile race. The car's not started, and now he's got it. And the first great cheer of the day goes up.
I'm cheering for you, and you know, there's Brayton's dad, Lee Brayton, who started him in this whole business. And you know, that's Debbie Rahal. They are probably sharing some of this sense of euphoria. Carla Carter there, Pancho Carter's wife. Hear the crowd, you see them there waving and cheering for you. And Jim, of course, you've got to keep iron control of yourself. You can't give in to that.
With the flag in his hand, here come the cars, and they're racing in Indianapolis. There goes Pancho Carter on the right of your screen, headed for turn one. Brayton and Rahal going low, getting the lead. Bobby Rahal takes the lead. Brayton is second, Carter is third. Mario Andretti moving on the outside.
Rahal, unexpectedly, we didn't think he'd have the power in that Cosworth and hot day, which may keep the speeds down slightly.
When they're on the straightaways, remember, they're going the distance of a full football field, including the end zones. A route reporting from the pits, and here is Josela Garza, the young man who made a splash here as a rookie from on the pole in this race, coming into the pits for a very unscheduled pit stop. People had wondered if the Buicks could last the race, but my goodness, it's only a few laps, and there he is.
This is much earlier. I'm obviously, what a crushing disappointment, Jim.
It certainly is. Well into his 30s, Pancho Carter has finished.
And it could be what everybody thought would happen to the Buicks. It could be an early expiration for this stock block machine.
It really has. Driving for the Pat Patrick team. There's Fittipaldi right there doing, I think, a beautiful. Used to sponsor Danny Sullivan in the. We'll see that pit stop winning crew in action.
Full day, the temperature about 82. Into the pits comes the remarkable A.J. Foyt at the age of 50, still carrying on in Indianapolis. The only in 20th place at the moment. Is that the next time? Look at that. Is that typical A.J. Foyt, gesturing, telling the crew what to do? But a long pit stop. Wait a minute. Looks like is he getting out? Looked like he was going to the belts.
It would be incredible if he got out one lap short of the 10,000-mile mark, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. And you know, I think he's just plain mad at his crew. I mean, I'm not sure that that car is out of action, that it can't be put right. I mean, I'm not saying.
But it looks, as of this moment, like he may have stopped in this race at 9,997.5 miles.
And he is going to work on the car himself, Jim. You said it yourself, vintage A.J. Foyt.
What you're looking at right here is an anachronism, really.
Look at that. You see what's wrong. Yeah, the wing, which he was trying to describe, is loose. And that is a legitimate, major problem if you're...
Work on the car. He's still his own chief mechanic. And now out on the race course, number 29, that's Derek Daly. Well, look at this. Here, they had a fire back in AJ's car. Seem to have it under control. You can't see alcohol fires, you know. Water and fire extinguishers. At the moment, running in 7th place in the race. Let's see if we can talk to him, Sam. Till next year at Indianapolis. Bobby Rahal is out of it. In fact, the entire first row is now out of this race. And there are only 4 cars on the same lap. That's a little unusual at this point in the race, Sam.
Yeah, it's highly unusual. As is Mario Andretti getting cut off a point in the race. Interesting to see them almost wheel to wheel out here on the track, showing a lot 31. So despite Sullivan's speed, he's running an economical race.
And that lead is dwindling by the second. Scoreboard showing it a half a second, but it certainly isn't. It's nothing now. Danny Sullivan going down low. Can he make the move? Sullivan down low. Side by side, Sullivan has the lead. Danny Sullivan, Kentucky, and just at that moment, losing control of the car, doing a magnificent job of not hitting the wall and continuing in the race. It's unbelievable.
The incredible move maybe ever.
They have caused problems in the car.
That is absolutely unbelievable what we saw. Of course, he must now stop because he's flat-spotted those tires. He's coming down that very rough pit lane there, which keeps the speeds down.
Listen to the cheers for him.
Oh, it's incredible. This place has come alive, and of course, Andretti is in the pits too, both the leaders. But Sullivan is going to have to even changing that left front tire, which they never change.
Well, that'll cost him the lead, no question of it, but Danny Sullivan is back out on the race course.
For that, the white line, the very thing that he was doing that made him so fast, I think tripped him in this one move. Yeah, Mario's too far back, I think, to have had a rear guard aerodynamic effect. But all right, now, Andretti faced with the moment of his driving life. He can't see where he's going. Fades slightly to the left by a miracle. Sullivan stays wide enough to the right, hits nothing, and we may have seen the skills that these men actually have.
You know, there are those who claim that people go to automobile races only to see people crash. There was a graphic demonstration. People want to see, I believe, man winning out.
Fittipaldi!
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that is what people do not want to see. I don't know where.
Well, first of all, let me make sure. No.
Tom Sneva right here.
All right, there's Sneva.
Now, they say it may have been car number 20.
That's Rich Vogler.
No, it's 34, Rich Vogler.
Yeah, 60, and Sneva was trying to pass.
I'm sorry, I don't think it is.
Vogler.
It's 60.
It is Rich Vogler. I think that's how I got Fittipaldi out of it. All right, there is Vogler. Sneva charges down into him.
Well, he just suddenly went right.
Yeah.
And into the wall.
It looked as if Sneva didn't see Vogler or thought he was further ahead of him.
There's Sneva.
Than he was.
Down low. And someone just getting by there. And then, also hitting the wall. So the reason it says M.A. Andretti is because his son's in the race, and that's M.I. for Michael Andretti. But look at this. They've got the crowd really going here now. Penske in the pit of Danny Sullivan, and there the sign.
Yep.
And here the move.
All right.
Sullivan.
No, Mario cuts him off.
But let's try again.
There's that low line through the short chute. No, again. And I'll tell you, Jim,
the crowd, it's a case of sentiment against the future, perhaps.
Yep. And you can imagine the ambivalence that Paul Newman must feel, incidentally, co-owning. Yep.
Here he comes.
Yep.
Danny Sullivan side by side with Mario Andretti, and he does not get caught off this time.
Yep.
And he does not spin. At any point, he takes the lead.
Yep, it's almost like I'm going to show you that I can do it. I'm going to grab wall on the outside. There's Danny.
Danny Ungaius in trouble.
Danny Ungaius. His car is so instantly recognizable. That black.
Okay, routine pit stop.
Remember, every time they come into the pits, tires change, the suspension possibly change. The car may go a little faster.
And Sullivan also, of course.
Yeah.
Sullivan also will have to make a pit stop.
However, they're not changing the tires here. Interesting late stage in the race. Notice how much longer a pit stop is now.
Fuel flows more slowly towards the end of the race. This is a gravity. Oh, there's a crash. That is 43. That's John Paul Jr. John Paul Jr.
but you know, looking at that John Paul card, it's terrific. That nose cone held up so well. That hit that wall. I mean, all right, here we go.
Look at that tire.
Yeah, there must have been it must have been triggered by a wheel coming off of his car, because that wheel, you know, was off the car, Jim, long before he hit the wall. And you see again, I make that point about the nose being fully intact. It's terrific to see. Much safer than ever, really. And a job fight like this, the winning of the Indianapolis 500.
Here comes the white flag, 1 lap to go. For the 35-year-old who, the point you make so well, Sam.
And so much hope into this, and is coming up short, just a few seconds worth.
The old American hero will lose the race. The new American hero is Daniel John Sullivan III of Louisville, Kentucky, who has won the Indianapolis 500. Mario Andretti finishing second. Roger Penske, the crew chief. Now is the time to celebrate. They didn't budge a muscle until he had crossed the start-finish line, that yard of brick, for the last time.
The
Roger
changing of
Penske
the guard.
from 30th place, the 3-time winner of the race, to finish 5th.
I'll take him anywhere I can get him. This was great.
This is the story of happiness in Winner's Circle.